بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال رسول الله sallallahu, aleyhi ve sellem الإسلام نظيف فتنظفوا فإنه لا يدخل الجنة إلا نظيف. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, aleyhi ve sellem said that Islam is clean and pure. So clean and purify yourselves, for a person will not enter Jannah unless they are clean and pure. In this short but profound hadith, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, aleyhi ve sellem is giving us a very great outline of what it means to be a Muslim, a holistic outline. See, a lot of times when we think about religion, we think of, knowledge, and we think of tarbiyah and activism and spirituality, but a lot of us don't think about the commonsensical things, like being clean and being pure. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was someone who was always known as someone who was clean and pure, and he smelled great, someone who looked great, ﷺ. He always made sure that his hair was combed. In fact, there was one time a young man who walked by and he had kind of like a scraggly beard, and the Prophet ﷺ commanded him and told him to clean it up. The Prophet ﷺ always used to put a nice oil, some olive oil in his hair to make sure that it looked great. He always used to wear a nice smelling musk or oil to make sure that he smelled great. In fact, there are some narrations that say that people could tell where he was simply by the scent that he left when he walked there. He was someone that he lived cleanliness and purity. And so in this hadith, he's commanding and telling his ummah in a very serious way that we also have to carry on that legacy of cleanliness. And we know the very famous hadith that cleanliness is half of iman. And there's no coincidence that cleanliness is a part of your faith. And this also leads us to the next discussion, in that in the sciences of hadith, you cannot restrict something that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ himself did not restrict. And so while this particular hadith is talking about cleanliness and purity, and our minds immediately go to external cleanliness and external purity, this also can be discussed in regards to the internal purity, the purity of the soul, the purity of the heart, the purity of the mind, the purity of the intellect and of the emotional side of ourselves. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is teaching us in a very serious way that cleanliness of the outside is also connected or has a relationship to cleanliness on the inside, taking care of the matters of the heart. And how can we clean our hearts? Because the Prophet ﷺ said, فَتَنَظَّفُوا, all of you, make sure that you clean and purify yourselves. And the word nadhafa in the Arabic language isn't just to clean, but it's to polish something. It's to deep clean something. So imagine that you could just spray your car down and clean it off, or you could take it and get it detailed. You could have someone scrub away at it, someone clean the inside and vacuum it, condition the carpets, or really nicely wash down the leather or whatever kind of seats you may have. That's what nadhafa is. It's a really high intensity cleaning. So the Prophet ﷺ said for us to do this on our external, on our bodies, and also on our internal, on our hearts. So we have to really sit down and self-reflect. We have to be honest with ourselves. What are the problems that you and I have? And we don't need to go talk to people about it. We don't need to go put it on Facebook, upload a status. Hey, can you guys suggest what problems I have? You don't need to do this. You just need to sit down with yourself with a notebook and a pen, and you need to write down what are some problems that I have that I want to work on about myself. It's very important to be honest and self-aware. So if someone has an issue with being envious or backbiting or talking back to parents or not lowering the gaze or even lying or stealing or something very serious, then we need to make sure that we identify those problems and that we do what? That we clean ourselves, we polish our hearts. Now, the second part of the hadith seems very harsh. The Prophet ﷺ says, فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةَ إِلَّا نَظِيفٌ, that a person will not enter paradise, Jannah, which is our ultimate goal, unless they are clean. And this seems kind of harsh. On the internal side, it makes sense though, that a person cannot enter paradise unless their heart is clean, their inside is clean, their soul is clean. That makes sense because the goal of Islam is to purify the heart. But on the external side, it seems kind of harsh. Like just because someone is dirty or doesn't smell nice or doesn't look nice, they're not going to go to Jannah. Well, the Prophet ﷺ here is teaching us that the two cannot be separated. That a person cannot be internally clean and be comfortable being externally dirty. That they are related. And a person who cares so much about their external appearance is eventually, if the inside is rotting away, that'll eventually become manifest. So everything that is internal, eventually, as Ibn Qudam al-Maqdisi said, everything that is internal will eventually show on the external. So the Prophet ﷺ is saying, فَتَنَظَّفُوا, clean everything. Clean your inside, clean your outside, make sure it's polished and scrubbed down. Because if we want to enter paradise, you got to enter paradise clean, inshallah ta'ala. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept and allow us to practice everything that has been said and heard. This is your brother Abdurrahman Murphy, Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.